Welcome, everybody, to the BKBK podcast where sports and the culture collide and the New York Jets reign supreme.
That's right.
I'm your host, Brandon Phillips, and I'm joined here today by my man, Brian Taylor, and my man, Kerry Taylor.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Hollywood, baby. And unfortunately, Kyle McKenna, our other man's, is not able to join us. Yeah, Captain Kyle McKenna, he's not able to join us, but of course, you know, we're teammates, so where one can't come in, we kind of just galvanize together and make things happen.
That's right.
Yeah, man. So, you know what? This time we're going to jump right into it. Listen, sports where it's a show about the sports where sports and the culture collide. So we're going to talk about sports and the culture and where they collide. So
yeah, they collide.
Yeah, they do collide.
Like
and sometimes it's like explosive. That collision is borderline explosive. And speaking of explosive news, as most of us know, if not, we'll inform you.
Sure.
So this is borderline hot off the presses, right?
Hot take.
Kareem Hunt. Yeah, he did some things that he wasn't supposed to do. He did some things that people will question, and as a result, he has been booted off of the Kansas City Chiefs. And also, even before that, he was placed on the not eligible list by the NFL. So regardless, his season was over.
Sure.
Because of what he did. And what he did was, according to the videotape that TMC got, he was caught on tape basically in a physical altercation with a young lady. So we can talk about this and then see and talk about it as far as like how this projects down the line.
Sure. So listen, the tape looked bad. You know, it definitely looked bad. We're not going to go through the details. Obviously, you know, he was on live television today talking about he was very contrite. I did not actually watch it, but as far as the reports are concerned, that he was contrite and apologetic for what he did, but ultimately he's got to pay for that. The question is, where does that put the Jets and maybe a level of interest in him? Now, we had spoken last week and the week prior about Kareem Hunt being a pick that Kansas City picked up, and we had somebody that we picked up prior to that. And when you look at him, Tyreek Hill, maybe those were people that the Jets didn't go after because of some questionable things in their past, off the field character concerns.
And Brian is talking about the draft as far as not going after them initially.
Yes, the draft, absolutely. Yeah. So maybe that's something that the Jets don't want in their locker room. So although he is very talented, and you're looking at him now thrust into maybe the top offensive free agent that's out there if he isn't picked up on waivers, and we won't know that until early next week. But he's somebody that the Jets might be looking at from a waiver perspective now or as a free agent next year.
Look, everybody's going to be looking at this guy. And let's be clear, the NFL is full of dudes that have made questionable choices in questionable times. Tyreek Hill is still on their squad, and he struck a woman and got suspended for it. So, and that's just one of many.
Got Ray Lewis out there
right.
for you know.
Right. I mean, you have one of many. This is not. It's not just germane to football. This is going on in all of the sports. This is going on in society. The question is, you made a mistake. Is it in your character that this is going to occur again? What are the signs? What led up to it? Are you apologizing with contrition? Are you taking steps on your own to make sure that things like this don't happen again in your life, that you don't put yourself in positions where you even, have to feel like you need to strike a woman, or anybody else for that matter. Anytime you're in a position of power and you use your power and you assert your power to a level of someone who is powerless, then that's a problem, right? So the issue is, what are you going to do to make sure that this doesn't occur again? Is this a part of your character? And did you apologize with contrition? And what steps are you going to take so that this doesn't, again, like I said, this doesn't occur again? And the interview, I watched the interview.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it on the radio. I did not physically watch it.
Right. So my issue is, are you sorry that you got caught, or are you sorry that it happened?
That's my question.
The interview didn't occur until the
right.
video came out. So you were lying until this particular time.
And it happened in February as far as the incident is concerned. So that's a long period of time between then and now that you got kicked off the Chiefs. And from what I understand, it was more for lying.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
necessarily that the incident happened, but you lied about
Right.
the the level of the incident itself. So that's why he's on the street right now.
So gleaning his explanation, I think he's more sorry that it occurred. Excuse me. I think he's more sorry that he got caught.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And that the video showed exactly what happened.
Sure.
And that is where your character comes into question. That
Right.
is
What
where
do you-
it becomes an indictment on your character. Are
Right.
you sorry for getting caught, or are you sorry for it being exposed?
Right.
And then that's where you have to wrestle with yourself, like, all right, I know I did something that was wrong, but let me do the right thing and be honest. Because one, morally, let's be honest. Two, it'll manifest itself in a way that, like, okay, I may suffer now, but at least I can, kind of come back from this. And this is going to be tough to come back from initially, because now he's going to be looked at as a liar
Sure.
and an abusive person, and lying to the people that employ you, and then to the league itself that your employment is under. So it's going to be harder for you to get back with any sort of team. And you know what? It's also going to mess up your bank account too, because now you're going to give the leverage to whatever team may be potentially pursuing you, because you are a top 3 running back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of those factors that are all grouped in that now he's going to have to chip away one at a time. But he needs to start with his character.
But let's understand it though. When you're in a position like this, and Kerry kind of alluded to it earlier, you're on an NFL team. It's about money, right?
Yeah.
So when you are useful for the NFL team, then they're gonna try to sign you and give you as many opportunities as possible. And when you are at the tail end of your career and really you are useless to the team, then hey, they'll cut you and say, oh, we really wanted to hold true to who we are and not hold on to these type of individuals. But again, he's young. He's still on his rookie deal.
Yep.
He led the league in rushing last year, under 25 years old. He's going to get another job.
I applaud the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't
Absolutely.
I can't say it enough.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For doing something inconvenient when they could have been convenient. Like I said, they
Especially
still have
potential-
other players on their
Yeah.
roster that have made similar mistakes to this.
Mhm.
All right. So the idea is, something happened just prior to that when the Redskins picked up I forgot his
Reuben
name.
Foster.
Reuben Foster.
Linebacker.
And the backlash as it relates to that. So I think in the light of that, I think they decided to make a decision that might jeopardize their short term, but in the long term will speaks volumes about their franchise. And again, I'm not saying that the Jets shouldn't do their due diligence, right? But I think they ought to, make sure that if they're going to consider this guy, that they check under every crevice and sheet and under every bed as it relates to what he has done in the past. Again, I don't know if there were any incidences prior to this in terms of what his involvement that was related that could relate to this.
Right.
But what I would make sure is, if I'm the Jets or any other organization, is to make sure was there any signs that this occurred in the past with him?
What does that say about the Washington Redskins then? Who did pick up a Reuben Foster on waivers.
He's got a resume.
And he's got a resume prior to the draft.
That's
and,
a problem.
And in the league.
That's
so
a
this
problem.
is his second incident
Right.
in the league.
He's got red flags. Does Kareem Hunt have red flags of this nature?
Not
if the
that I
answer
know
is no,
of.
again, you could have a moment of indiscretion. I don't people have moments of indiscretion all the time.
We're human beings. I understand
We're
that.
human beings. We make mistakes. So again, but does he have a history of this? Is there a pattern that this demonstrates? If that's the case, I stay away from him.
I'd put it to you this way, just for me personally, if I were the GM or the owner of the Jets, at this particular point, let's just say, just to have, a discussion, if I were going to pick, and I only had 2 choices, and if I were to pick between Kareem Hunt versus Reuben Foster, both great players, for me right now, I would pick Kareem Hunt as it is now, because we know the established resume that Reuben Foster has. And I don't want any parts of that.
Yeah.
And then for Kareem Hunt, the video looks bad, but we need to unpack it even more and see what his resume speaks to. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I were for it, and this
Absolutely.
isn't the situation or anything, and I'm not advocating anything in either direction. I'm just saying, just to kind of play like, just basically
considering it from both ends.
Considering it from both ends, and also if I had to pick, if it was a binary choice of like between the two, I'm going to go with the one that I have the least amount of information about his character, but still pushing forward to get that character information.
Right.
Because Reuben Foster, his resume is out there, and I don't want any parts of that. Not on my team, not on my locker room.
Not at all.
If I were an owner or a GM, I wouldn't want that for my PR.
Right.
Because you're a reflection, so I don't want any parts of that. But so now we know about the impending free agency coming in 2019, right?
Right.
And now we know that Kareem Hunt has been waived, as Brian said.
He has a 6-game suspension, I believe.
Coming in 2019.
Coming in
at least,
at least, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. They find anything else additional besides, then it could
be the whole
increase.
year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But we know that we need offensive weapons.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there are some players out there who the Jets need to look at. We have $100 million at least in our purse to be able to spend on these players.
Sure.
Now, here's the question, all right? If you had a choice, I'm going to give another tough question here, binary choice between Le'Veon Bell and Kareem Hunt at this point. What would you guys want to do? And let's just say both of them want to come here and we have the money to do it, which we do.
Again, it would for me, it would be based on what that full review of his history is. And I would need to have a one-on-one interview with him. If I'm the GM and the coach and even the owner, I'm having a sit down with him. Like, look, I want to see, I want to look into your eyes and understand what led up to what happened. I want character references from, his former coach
and going
his
back to
former
college
teammates. I might even speak to Kansas City.
Yeah,
I might even have a conversation with Kansas City because we know that it's off the table for them. I might have a conversation with them. Like, look, what is this guy? What is in this guy's heart?
So let's say all that checks out because we can't really necessarily predict if it will or not.
If all that checks out, then I might bring him in. I don't have a problem bringing in him actually.
But the question is, if you got Le'Veon Bell, you got Kareem Hunt, you have a 6-game suspension. Let's say it doesn't go past that. Let's say it's 6 games into 2019. You have him on his rookie deal. Le'Veon Bell, you got to pay money to. Le'Veon Bell has his own baggage that he's coming to the team with as well.
Nothing like this though,
and not as young.
And
no, he's not. But he's got the
now,
drug stuff.
And up till I understand that, but up till now, he's been a great teammate. He's been a good teammate up until this year. Le'Veon. I'm talking about prior to this year. Prior to this year, he's been a good teammate. I have nobody has said he was not a good teammate prior to this.
Fair
incident.
point.
Okay.
That's a fair point. I totally get it.
So for me, I would say I'm going with Le'Veon Bell. Right. So and the reason is I know he's going to be there game 1. Right.
Do you know?
I mean, well, as long as you pay the man.
Right.
I mean, as long as you pay the man, there's no way he's not going to be there for day 1 OTAs, whatever else. If he signs this big pay,
he's a transcendent running back.
Oh, absolutely.
That does more than the running back position.
And it doesn't actually prevent you from going after Kareem Hunt too. To be honest with you, it doesn't because he's still on his rookie deal. So it's not a lot of money in order to pick him up or whatever. But then he's a free agent, so I don't know what goes along with that.
He becomes a free agent immediately. Is that how it
works?
works?
If he passed through waivers,
is that how it works?
I don't know. That's
I don't know that that's how it works. If that's the case, I'm not taking that kind of risk on that kind of guy.
Well then, yeah.
No.
So I'd say my choice is Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
Hands
and
down.
I get that. Right.
And to me, one of the reasons why, and we were going through this prior to, is there's not a lot of offensive weapons that you could spend that $100 million on. And Brandon was kind of speaking to it earlier. He was talking about DeMarcus Lawrence and Sue was up there, and Ndamukong Suh, who I wouldn't go after anyway. Ezekiel Ansah.
I'm not going after him either, to be honest with you.
Because he's injured and stuff like that.
Dante Fowler.
But everything is on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you mentioned there's not a lot of offensive linemen that are out there as far as free agents. There's not a lot of offensive weapons there. So really, you have Le'Veon Bell and everybody else.
So I like the idea of bringing them both in. if Hunt is on his rookie contract, you know what? Okay.
But then you would have to sign.
Think about it.
But then you have to pick him up on waivers this week in order to make sure he's under control and on the rookie deal.
PR
And
nightmare.
PR nightmare
And
right
we're
now.
New York City.
But can't
PR
you still
nightmare.
release him? Can
Yeah,
you
can.
still release
Absolutely.
him?
Yeah,
Right, so
totally.
why not? Why
But
not?
then you Reuben Foster deal. Now you're Washington Redskins.
Right, but my point is that you can do the due diligence in 2 weeks.
No.
You
This,
got- you have-
you would have
at the
already had to
end-
put the claim in right now. You're talking about it's announced on Tuesday.
Then I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. Then I wouldn't do that.
And
Right.
we would have a very good chance of getting him because our record stinks.
Exactly.
So we'd have a.
then I wouldn't. I
it's
wouldn't.
too close.
I would not do it as an organization. I would not do it unless all of my boxes are checked.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care what it's going to cost me.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to cost me more
Correct.
if I do it prior to doing my due diligence.
You
Absolutely.
absolutely have to be forward thinking when it comes to this. You have to be forward thinking from a PR standpoint, from just a standard, moral standard standpoint,
Right.
as far as how to deal with this and this guy. And you know what? Make him prove that he's sorry, right? And also do our due diligence like we were talking about and really uncovering everything because we don't know. This just broke now, so teams are scrambling to try and get information
Sure.
and inside information
Right,
on
because
this.
we're not the only team thinking about, picking up off waivers.
Of course not.
There's
31
31
other teams. Yeah.
maybe 30 because the Chiefs already made their decision.
Right.
You know,
It
and they
is
kind of
30
had to.
because their Chiefs have made the
Yeah.
decision. They
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
"No,
yeah,
we're
exactly,
done."
Yeah.
We're done.
So now the information that we, it's only been 2 days. Today's Sunday. We found out about this Friday afternoon.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, what's going to happen a month from now? Okay. All right. But then what's going to happen like from that month from now on draft day? More things would have been uncovered.
Sure.
Be patient. Do your due diligence. Find out. I like him as a back. I really do.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I wanted him in my fantasy, and
Of course.
and I got picked right before I picked. I wanted
Right.
him so bad, and then I ended up getting McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying?
You're not
But
mad at that
I'm
right
not
now.
mad at that at
No,
all.
no.
But still, like I've always had an affinity for the guy and his style. But still, I mean, there's more to that. I mean, honestly, I do like Isaiah Kroll. I think people are giving up on him a little bit too quickly. He's not in the category. I'm not even trying to say that he's in the
Of
category
either of these two guys.
of either of the. He's not even a top 10 dude.
Well,
But
I
do
think
like
we're-
him.
I don't think we're giving up on him. I think we are looking at other options.
Yes.
So if we say we didn't
As we
have
should.
Elijah McGuire, right, on the roster, and we weren't looking at Le'Veon, then clearly he would still be an option. But we're talking about significantly upgrading our roster. And
Yeah.
if we're going to do that, we have to bring in a dynamic running back.
Right.
And so if we have a choice between Elijah McGuire and Crowell, I'm totally taking Crowell.
Yeah, I totally hear you. And speaking of needing a dynamic offensive player, I'm looking at this list. I pulled up the top 25 2019 free agents list because we have larger purse strings this year.
Sure.
We had large purse strings last year too, but like it's in the $100 million category.
Well, you don't want to pay for something at a premium just because it's the only thing that's
That
there.
is true, but
Jermaine
that's
Johnson, Hashtag.
No, I hear you. But my overall point is, okay, hold on a
Still
second.
waiting
You got
for
you
it.
got a point.
Still,
Cut to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
face.
you got a
still
point.
waiting
Cut to
for
that
it. Still waiting for it.
My point is basically getting weapons,
Right,
and
yeah,
I'm looking
offensive.
through and I'm looking at this, and there's no high end number one receivers on this list.
No,
Randall
absolutely
Cobb.
not.
So
Absolutely not.
most of it is defensive,
Yeah.
and like I was telling you earlier, most of it
Dante
are
Moncrief.
safeties,
Right. Yeah.
safeties, and
Right.
we're already locked up in the safety position.
Right.
Yeah,
you
we're
guys
all
get
set.
that text that I sent you guys
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah.
Marcus May's done for the season, yes,
Mhm.
but he was in the top 10 this season when he was playing, and he was playing hurt with a cast on.
He
Right.
was.
So, all right. So for instance, I have
Right
right here. We've got Trey Flowers, a defensive end. DeMarcus Lawrence. Yes, I would love to, but I think they're gonna stop him up like a biscuit. You have Le'Veon Bell, D Ford. We need an out edge. That's Kerry's favorite thing. Edge. We
The
need an
hedge.
edge, right?
Hedgehog.
I will take.
How do you know
Hedgehog.
DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be stopped up?
Well, they
Because-
franchise tagged him already.
Right.
Right.
Would this be year 3 for him or
This is the second. This is the second franchise tag or the first.
I don't know if it's
franchise
2 or
tag?
3.
Yeah,
it's
I
definitely
think-
it's definitely not the first. He's playing on a franchise tag right now.
Right. So is this the first franchise tag?
I don't know.
So
Right.
we're either in 2019. We
So
either
they
get
can put a
into the
transition
second or the
tag on him
third.
again.
It potentially can.
Then you're paying him like a top 25 in any position, right? So
Right.
that's 25 mil.
Okay. Did you see him on Thursday?
He's the truth, bro.
25. He's not getting paid 25 mil next year. He's just not getting paid 25 mil next year for a year.
I'm just asking.
Of course, we saw that. He's not getting paid
Acting like
25.
you don't want
Who's that
answers.
guy in Denver? Who's the edge in Denver?
What's his name? The guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Von Miller.
Von
Right.
Miller. Yeah, my bad.
Right.
Von Miller.
Yeah.
Guy
Why
with the
you make-
specs, huh?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Audience, why is he making this face? It's like condescending face. And he's staring right at me.
Right, I'm just.
Like as if he told you to draft him or something.
Yeah, I know, right? Gee whiz.
How about I do this?
All right, go ahead, do it.
Have you seen Von Miller?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Right.
He's the truth.
Right.
So what's your point, though, Kerry? I don't get it.
My point is, this dude he's Von Miller-esque. He's Von Miller-esque.
Yeah, but-
and if I'm Dallas, I'm paying him. But Dallas doesn't make real good decisions.
They made a real good decision.
I'm
getting
giving him
getting
90,
Amari Cooper in here.
I'm giving him 90.
And their offense is
I give him
totally changed
$95
around.
million. Be on the Jets.
I'm not arguing with you.
I'm doing it.
I said Dallas is probably going to sop him up like a biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I wish we had the gravy and the biscuit to sop him up
Right.
with, because I would take him in a instant.
Mhm.
I love him. Let me just read off some more lists. Jadeveon Clowney, he's going to be a free agent. I'd sop him up too.
Mm,
The only thing that's preventing him is that he likes to get hurt and miss a couple games. But
yeah, he enjoys that.
So, guys, you see what I'm dealing with here on this show, right? This guy, Kerry, he's a jerk. Check out his jerk laugh. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. He's trying to be Hollywood with that laugh,
Yeah,
but he's
I
more
am.
like Bollywood with
Right.
that.
Ooh.
I'm playing. So, basically, there's Brandon Graham. There's Landon Collins. I've read off. There's Earl Thomas. Lots of safeties that we don't need. And I'm looking and I'm scrolling down this list here. The first receiver I see popping up is Golden Tate.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a number one to me.
I'm not signing him.
Nah,
Yeah.
and he's 30. I'm not signing him either.
Well,
You know, I like him, though.
we'll address that in the draft. We'll address that in the draft.
Will we though? With
We
the same
will.
guy drafting
Well,
this year
let's-
as in past years,
okay,
we will address it.
We digress.
Will we?
We digress. We digress. We're going to address that in the draft.
Watch the brothers argue.
Right, we're going to address that in the draft. We have two of the top 10 safeties in the NFL right now.
I love it. Now let's move
Okay.
on and
All right.
and get
Okay. All right.
and get like.
And
two
he
of
might be. I think on the list. I think not Marcus May, our other safety.
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams. I think on the list of the top position players in the NFL, I think he is. I think top 8.
I know he's number one in fantasy.
Right. I think he's top 8 out of all position players. I think he's top 8. Just say
If
that.
they don't
Just-
vote
just
him to
putting
the
that
Pro
out there.
Bowl, I'm
he's
gonna
going to the
flip.
Pro Bowl.
You
That's
better.
not a question. It's not a question.
That's nice, but he can't catch passes.
I recognize that.
Can't
And
run the ball,
Look, you
score a
some-
touchdown.
Thank you,
I'm just
B.
focusing on
Thank you.
Help out our rookie quarterback.
You guys are so negative. I don't. I'm focusing on the positive today. I'm focusing. on
Okay,
the
this is the positive carry. All right. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is not the
Positive
positive
carry.
carry because he's like, well, how do you know DeMarcus Ware
Funny.
is gonna blah 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 blah? Not
First of all,
DeMarcus Ware, but whatever his
Ware.
name.
Funny,
is.
funny.
Lawrence, like Larry.
Yeah, DeMarcus
So,
Lawrence.
He didn't
Yes,
come with
yes.
his blankie on today, so
Right.
that
Just
means
at
that
home.
he's feeling very positive.
It's at home.
But it looks like
My
DeMarcus
blankie
Lawrence,
at
this
home.
was the first year that they franchised him,
And
so they
they'll
can
franchise him
franchise him
and they
again,
will, and they
which
will.
means we will
Yeah.
not see DeMarcus Lawrence coming through
Dag on it.
our team.
Gee whiz.
Well, it's Dante Fowler. It's Dante Fowler and somebody else. Again, I'm giving Dante Fowler more.
I say
give
this.
him about $60 million.
The way
3
the
years,
way I
4
feel
years.
right now, sign who you can sign, like a Le'Veon Bell, and maybe one player on the defensive side or two, and then roll the money over.
To next year?
Exactly.
Again.
Why spend the money, lock it up for years for players like a Tremaine Johnson right now that we're talking about ad nauseum, that really is not living up to $72 million contract just because he was the top corner on the market.
We have a few games left. We'll see how he plays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and also what we have not spoken about is, yes,
a
we need
long-term
weapons, but to be able to exploit these weapons, we need offensive linemen.
Absolutely.
James Carpenter, he's done for the season, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Free agent at the end of the season.
so he's not going to come back.
Gone.
Spencer Long, guys and girls.
Did not play that poorly.
He played better than not that poorly. He
Yes.
played well at
Yes,
guard.
He did.
Yes.
He did.
Don't
Yeah.
put this guy under center ever again in
No,
life.
let him keep him
Okay.
there. Let
Keep him at
Harrison
guard.
Keep Harrison at
Keep
center.
Harrison, or first round draft pick, either be an offensive tackle or a highly touted center. and let's keep it going from there. Well,
No. The reason why I'm signed.
Draft capital.
No. The reason.
What position? Okay, we have to.
No. We're talking about two separate things. Trust me.
I love it when the brothers argue. I love it.
We're talking about two separate things.
Okay.
You're talking about draft capital and the best possible position. I'm with you on that.
Okay.
My side is that when you look at the top potential draft picks of next year, like the top 6 are quarterbacks and defensive linemen. So,
which is trade if we can trade back.
No,
I would
I'm with
love
you.
to trade
I'm
down.
with you
We
on the
don't
trade
have a
back.
second.
I'm with
We
you.
don't have a second.
I don't know if McCagnon knows how to trade back.
Again,
I mean, I just don't.
Delph McCagnon.
Why?
Because I don't.
Because the Jets are still on him.
Because that's another.
That's my problem.
That's another 2-hour podcast.
It should be every podcast from now until they fire the guy.
This guy.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I'm saying, man. Yo, I mean, come on, man. Can my team make some good decisions?
I'm gonna assume he's gonna do better if they decide to keep him. That's gonna be my assumption. That's the only way I can eat or swallow this. That he's going to do
took a
better.
positive pill on the way over here.
I did because I'm so happy about my Mets and my Knicks right now. But that's another story for another day. Hashtag Justin Dunn. I'm crying that he ain't gonna be here next year. But anyway, that's another story.
Okay.
Right.
But
Sure.
Robinson Cano. Anyway, but my point is this: I have to assume that they're going to either let him go and somebody else who's going to replace him is going to make better choices, when we draft, or that he's going to be here and he's going to make better choices when he drafts.
Can't get any worse.
That's going to be my assumption.
Can't get any worse.
So my point is, I'm hoping that they have a trade partner to trade back so we can have more draft capital because we need assets.
We need everything.
We need assets.
Forget about assets.
Specifically
We need
offensive
everything.
assets.
Yes, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. I hope we are Belichick-minded with this one and trade down.
And there's
Even if we
value.
need to trade down a couple
value
times.
down.
Yes,
there's
there is.
value down at on the offensive side of the ball.
For the positions that we need. You
Yes.
are absolutely
Exactly.
right. I
Exactly.
totally agree with you.
Especially at receiver.
Yeah. At receiver, at O-line. And then my thinking is we have not just the draft capital, but the capital, the cash capital to address the edge. You heard me list off Jadeveon Clowney. You heard me list off D Ford. Like, we haven't had an edge rusher for the longest. And these guys, let me check their ages. I don't think anyone that I've mentioned.
They're off rookie deal.
Jadeveon Clowney's
He's
still
off
only
rookie
26.
deal.
Yeah,
He's
that's
off
high.
rookie deal.
I
Yeah.
thought he was older, but he's
No.
only 26. And I totally acknowledge what you're saying about the rookie deal, but I just want to know what their physical ages are.
Sure.
Let's see here. DeMarcus Lawrence, 27. D Ford, he's 28. D Ford's 28. So, hey, listen.
This is second.
Yeah.
This is second
Yeah.
contract.
This is his third contract. I think.
Yep.
I mean,
So I'll
third,
take
sorry.
Jadeveon Clowney right now.
Why is everybody talking about Dante?
Because he just signed with the.
He didn't
He got
sign.
traded.
He
got traded.
All right.
He got traded to be a free
traded.
agent at the end of the season.
Well, you know what? I've been talking about him this whole time, and I'll continue to talk about him. Like, I'll take him. I just heard that, you know what? He's got a little funky attitude, though.
I like it.
I mean, well, that's why he got traded. I mean, he was a first-round draft pick, so with the, and I don't mind. Listen, play nasty, play with attitude, whatever the case may be. We wanted to trade for him, and we had a couple of different deals in place. And
Exactly.
and they ended up going.
We offered the quarterback that we had on roster, Teddy. We offered Teddy,
which the Jags should have taken.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Quickly
I know they are
and
killing
ran.
themselves right now.
And ran
Yeah.
with that.
I know they are killing themselves right now.
Stupid. Stupid.
So mad at them.
Yeah.
So in the mock draft, they have the Jets picking a defensive end from Clemson.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
I mean, and you know what?
That's one mock draft.
Yeah, that is one
That's
mock
the one.
draft.
That's the one McCagnon put up.
Look at this.
Because he really wants him.
Right.
Because he really wants him. Put him next to the big cat, right? Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
That's the safest thing for this turkey is to pick a D lineman out of Clemson. Clemson's got like 4 D linemen that are probably going to go in the first round, by the way. They're
easily.
stacked.
Easily.
But still, like, I'm tired of seeing that. Let's go with the offense. Let's scheme the defense out. We've got a great leader back there in Jamal. We still have the big cat under contract. And let's get some of these edge guys. Like, I haven't seen an edge like since when? Since what? John Abraham?
Personally, I'm tired of talking about it. I mean, listen. The edge thing is there. I get it. We need one of those guys.
But
However,
does.
everybody's trying to find that guy. However, offense is much more important right now
Especially in this day and age.
than an edge guy.
Yeah.
And it's more important right now because we have a 25-year asset that we need to cultivate.
Oh my God.
25. Yeah, you see.
Yeah, he's gonna be GM afterwards. After he plays with
Look at
it,
his face. Look at his face.
And we have to cultivate. Okay.
Oh man.
All right. This guy needs weapons,
Jeez.
and we want to bring him along. You know, and I'm in love with my quarterback, and I know he's hurt.
Okay,
I
T.O.
don't know all about that. I get
Funny.
it. I love my quarterback.
Funny.
Man. I love my quarterback.
Funny. You know that you got to do the single teardrop too, like your man T.O.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, he's looking into the camera too. Over there looking like the Black Mona Lisa.
That's my man right there. That's my man's in them. That's my man's in them. Darnold, let's go. Get him some weapons.
Gotta get him some
Get him
weapons.
some weapons.
I mean,
get that boy hype.
Do that.
We have Herndon. Okay, I think he can be a fixture.
What's his name again?
Herndon. Yeah, I know. There you go.
He's never heard of this guy.
Yeah, he's never heard
Never
of him.
heard of that
You know,
guy.
he made one good move in one of our little pre-draft shows.
It's
about
better than
who
what
wanna get.
McCagnon. Well,
Right.
he
That-
actually drafted him.
you
I think
know.
he was listening to me. At the time.
Yeah, true.
Right.
So we have that. We have our quarterback of the future.
Mhm.
I like Kroll. If we can't get a better running back like Jadeveon or something like
We're
that,
going to.
he kind of tweaks me, that kid, still, because he's so flighty mentally.
Who?
Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know,
But
it's
you're
kinda-
warming up to him now. You know what I mean?
Actually, you know what?
you are.
Honestly,
You are.
I'm not.
What?
I'm not.
What?
I'm not warming up to him. Honestly, I kind of don't want him on my team.
But
I mean, but you said that from the gate, though.
I did.
Yeah.
you've been saying it for 9 months.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm saying it now. So I'm being consistent.
Right.
I don't want him on my team.
And I understand why.
But the thing is, I wouldn't at this point pick Kareem Hunt before him either, because I don't want Kareem Hunt on my team, even though I kind of do. But I can't let him on my team for what he did. So now it's like, okay, Isaiah, I'm going to keep you. And I think he's a good runner. I liked him back when he was with Cleveland. I thought he was a pretty good back.
Crowell.
Kroll, yeah.
I think
yeah.
you keep him anyway because I think you have a 1-2 punch with those guys. You don't want to run Le'Veon into the ground like the Steelers have been anyway. It's not like he's 22 years old at this
So you're
point.
saying you keep 3 running backs?
So you already have 3. So Powell is off contract anyway.
Right.
So
He's gone.
he's gone. So you replace Le'Veon, Powell with Le'Veon.
And we have Cannon. So I'm happy with the running backs that we have. Let's address other positions. I'm happy with the running backs. I'm happy with Herndon. I'm happy with my quarterback. I want a number 1 receiver, and I want O-line built around them. And I want
Wait,
receivers.
You're happy with the running backs?
Wait. So you're saying you're happy with Crowell and Elijah McGuire, and that's it? And Cannon?
Cannon? That's
I know
what you're
that's
going
not-
to war
I know
with in
that's not what you're
2019?
saying. I know that's not what you're saying.
You know what? You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yes.
Breaking news.
All
Yes.
Brandon
I'm saying
has
it
lost
right to
his
the.
mind.
I'm saying it right to the camera.
He
Yes,
has lost his
I do,
mind.
and here's the reason.
Why?
It's all contingent upon getting that number 1 receiver and really rebuilding this offensive line.
Which
I
won't
think-
happen in 2019. So
How do you know that? How do you know that we can't bring in at least maybe 2 free agent O linemen that will do well? Now, they don't have to be high. Listen, it's not going to be that hard to get somebody that's like better than Beecham and better than Carpenter at this point.
But is that what we're looking for? I mean, are we looking for the 25th rank offensive guard and or tackle or whatever in the league, or are we looking for a considerable improvement in our offensive line play to make a Crowell look like he can run for 200 yards like they did in that one particular game? We need a substantial improvement in our old line play in order for us to go out there and be able to help out our young quarterback.
And
We need a
guys-
substantial number 1 wide receiver in order for us to be able to go out there and compete on the NFL level.
Yes.
And I can't. And again, if there was a different person, and I want to beat this drum all the time, right? If we were sitting there and I had confidence in the leadership at GM, I would be on board with you. But because I don't, I'm like, man,
Since you're not, what do you want to do?
Le'Veon Bell needs to be the number 1 asset we go after from a free agency perspective, either offensive or defensive. He's got to be in it.
So then what are you saying? So then who's to say that our stinky GM is going to do that?
Nobody.
Guys,
That's
we
what I'm
can't-
saying. Like we're
but my
like
point was
borderline
we-
arguing in circles.
Right,
here.
but we can't continue to argue that our GM is not going to make the choices.
I'm not doing
Okay.
that. I'm
So what
saying I'm projecting myself.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. We have to say what we want and make the assumption that, or at least hope that our GM at the time, whoever it is going to make those kind of choices.
Let's
But-
be clear, Kerry. give me what you want, and let's go around the table so that we're all clear to our audience.
I first want to address what you were saying about, just bringing in a number one receiver. First of all, what is your source to attain that?
I didn't say
draft,
just bringing it in, but
draft.
I would say
signing. What are you saying?
I would say draft because I'm looking and there's not a true number one receiver that's going to be a free agent that we could potentially acquire.
So you have to develop that guy, right? But even say you pick up somebody that is of the level of people that are on our roster right now, Quincy Enunwa, right?
Yeah.
Then you have two Quincy Enunwas.
I look at Quincy's a fabulous number 2, by the way.
Right, and that's the issue. So what other number one on that? Say it's on somebody else's team, like who?
Like an equivalent?
Like an equivalent?
Yeah, equivalent.
I like AJ Green. I like an AJ Green type.
Right.
I like a Julio type.
Okay.
I mean,
it takes at least 2 years to develop that kind of receiver in terms of the relationship with your quarterback with a line that is going to block for you, right? We're not going to have that. So even if you bring that guy in today, it's still going to take time to develop him. So what I'm saying is that we have to have more than just Quincy Enunwa, that number one. We have to have somebody besides that, and we don't have that on our roster.
I think that's a broad brush of the paintbrush.
Right.
Odell came in as a rookie and lit fire. I wish there were other names on top of my head.
But you had a veteran quarterback.
That is true.
At the time.
Very true.
And a line that could block for him. Right? So my point is that we're not going to get everything right away. But what we can do is get a dynamic running back, right? And draft a number one receiver in either the first or second round based on what we do with our first round pick.
And then what about the O-line then? Because you didn't mention that.
Right. So again, my thing is, and now I'm talking about what I think we should do. I think we should trade out of that number 5, 6, 7, 8 point position. All right.
Okay.
But the higher we are, the more capital we're going to get back.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So that we do that, we get whatever. If we say we trade picks with Atlanta or somebody like who is on the border of not making the playoffs?
Texas. Green Bay's on the border.
Green Bay, right. Somebody like that who needs defensive help, right? Who significantly needs some defensive help, right? Mm-hmm. And we can get 2 1s or 1 1 and 2 2s, then I would say do that. Offensive lineman, offensive lineman, wide receiver, and then maybe another defensive player on the third pick of the second round or second pick of the second round, because we need offensive weapons. And like I said, there's more draft capital. There's more value in the lower picks on the offensive side of the ball, right? Because we need more than one.
Right.
We need more than one. We need an offensive lineman, like you're saying. We need a receiver, like you're saying. We could use an edge, lower down in the first round or the beginning of the second round.
We need an edge. It's not like we could use
but
it.
My point is that we can use our financial capital to sign.
You and I basically saying the same thing. I think
but I'm saying we're trading back. You're saying that we don't need a Le'Veon Bell or somebody or a Kareem Hunt.
That's probably the crux of the difference between your two conversations.
You're saying all we need to do is draft this wide receiver.
I'm not saying that we don't need those guys. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that if we don't get them, I'm not crying over that spilt milk whatsoever because I'm happy with Isaiah Crowell. I'm happy with McGuire. I'm happy with the potential and the prospect of Cannon. And I think that with a good line, with a number one receiver, that we can function and build off of that and potentially have a decent offense to kind of build on. And I do agree with you as far as trading back. Like I hope that we, get the highest draft pick possible so that we can trade back. I want to accumulate picks because we're at that point now where we don't have that many picks. And let's just drop back. Even when you were saying that, I was like, yo, let's drop back twice. I don't care if we pick, let's just say we have the third or the fourth pick. If we drop back to like 17, I'm cool with that. As long as it's providing dividends, like another second rounder, another first, and maybe another first the next year in 2020. However, I'm not thinking about it clearly, but you know what I'm saying. I want to acquire more high draft picks, high being in the first round, whether it be middle tier first rounds. I don't think we necessarily need to stay in that third or fourth position. Let's trade down and acquire these things because we have the number one quarterback. That's the reason why we would want to stay up in the first, second, third, fourth pick tier. So now let's drop back. Let's get that number one receiver. Let's get that center or that tackle that may be available in the first round. Let's pull our own purse strings now and get those edge rushers, some of the guys that I listed already. And then another O-lineman. And then I think, yes, they need development, receivers and stuff, but we can kind of congeal and gel together a little bit quicker with these good players faster than one maybe would think on the surface.
Well, I would say this. I think that, again, we're thinking along the same lines from a philosophy standpoint. I think free agency on the offensive side of the ball, Le'Veon Bell is your number one target. Your number two for me is Golden Tate. So I would get Golden Tate. I would bring him in.
I thought you said you didn't want him.
No, I always said I wanted him. I wanted to trade for him when he was up and available.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely wanted Golden Tate. I feel like he's a little older than what you would say for most.
He's 30.
I think he's still younger than 30, but he's like, if he's not 30, he's not going to do it.
2019.
Tell me what it is.
He would replace
Tell me what it
Curse.
is.
He
I'm
would
gonna tell
He
you
will
right
replace
now.
Curse.
He replaced Curse.
He's much better than Curse.
He is.
He can get open. He runs. His yak is crazy.
2019, 31. So he's 30
Okay,
now.
all right. So
31.
he's there. So but again, today he's still very effective at yards after catch. He runs crisp routes. He would be somebody that would be
good mentor,
and
good
he's
mentor in
slower.
a blanket,
any receiver that redraft,
safety blanket for our young quarterback, right? So I think those two people right there. Think about the third down outlets: Le'Veon Bell out there and Golden Tate out there.
I'll be sick.
Who are you going to cover?
and Anunwa,
And Anunwa out
because you're
there,
going to resign him,
And
Herndon.
and who?
Yep.
and Herndon,
Herndon.
Oh,
Curry's guy.
Kerry Herndon Taylor.
right.
Gee whiz.
So think about that, man. Think about your 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, and having all 4 of those guys for him to
Available
throw the ball
and-
to.
yeah.
Still don't have the number one, but that's fine. So now in the draft, I agree with everything that you guys said for the most part as far as trading back. I wouldn't go back as far as to 17. I would look at what the
I just threw
Indianapolis
out an
Colts-
arbitrary
No,
number.
I get you.
But mostly my point is I don't mind going to, say, closer to the middle of the draft.
I would
in the
say
first round.
I would
Go
say
ahead.
a perfect viewpoint of what we should do is what the Colts did to us. Right? So we ended up moving up to 4.
3.
3.
And they moved back
They moved
down
back to 6
And
and,
they got-
picked up 3 second-round picks from us.
And they
Right.
got that mauler,
Ragnow,
Quentin Nelson,
Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson,
from
Right.
Notre Dame.
Right.
And they were going to
Pro
elect
Bowl.
him.
He's Pro Bowl.
He's Pro Bowl. And I think for the month of October or
Rookie
something
of the
like
month.
that. Rookie of the month.
Right.
As
Which
an
has never
O-lineman.
happened as an O-lineman,
You
right?
got to be kidding me. This kid's
Right.
a bruiser,
Right.
a mauler.
And that's a guard. I don't care if it's a guard or center because you were kind of mentioning that earlier. I don't care if it's a guard, it's a center, it's the tackle.
Right.
If it's the best tackle, if
Right.
it's the best guard,
Get
if
him
it's
the
the best
best
center,
center. Yeah.
bring him in here.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
So he can make a significant impact on what we have. Or if that ends up being a wide receiver and he is somebody that could go 6 or 7 or whatever, and he's that talented,
Right.
then I'd pick them in the best offensive lineman or the best wide receiver that you could pick in the first round at that point after moving back.
And it is an example. Sorry to step
Go
on you,
ahead.
B. Look at what Quentin Nelson has done for Andrew Luck in this year, coming off of
Right.
so
After we beat them,
huge. After we beat them, he settled in,
Right.
right, and then after this injury of his that
Right.
everyone had these huge question marks about.
Yep.
Andrew Luck, he's thrown for 3 touchdowns in each game for like the past 6 or 7
and
games.
hasn't
Seems like
seen
forever.
the ground and hasn't seen the ground. I think he got sacked last week. That's the first time he got sacked since we played him.
Yep.
I think.
Direct result of having basically probably a rookie All-Pro inside
Yeah.
offensive lineman.
Yeah.
a guard.
Absolutely. So, and the people that we're going to probably trade with that would give us more capital are people looking for quarterbacks, right? So you hope for the Giants to win, right? So you want the Giants to win
Yes.
in order for them to want to trade up a couple of picks for us, but we still would be able to get their pick. So I'm rooting for the Giants all day right now, right?
Yeah,
I'm rooting.
The problem is that there aren't enough quarterbacks in the draft for people who
You don't
need
need
a
it.
quarterback to come up.
All you need is like 2, right? All you really need is 2. So San
Depending
Francisco's
upon
going.
where we end up drafting.
But understand, so Oakland may or may not draft a quarterback, right? They're going to have like the number 1 or number 2 pick, but they have a David Carr. So potentially, if they don't like the quarterbacks coming out right
that's
now,
another long conversation.
right? But that
They don't need another quarterback. David Carr is good.
Right,
I think
right.
he just got. I think the coaching is messing
I'm not
him
saying
up.
he isn't. I'm telling you that
Yeah.
his coach may not be convinced. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Well,
and
that's
and
sure.
what I'm saying is that his coach is messing him up.
But
Well, he ain't going nowhere.
No, he's not. 10 for 10 for $100 million. No, I know he's not.
no,
going
he's
anywhere.
not. But I mean, he anyway, I think that's opportunity. San Francisco's another opportunity because they don't need their quarterback of the future. They already have Garoppolo or whatever. So they're not going to draft a quarterback. So they may be trying to do the same thing we are as well. So, you just got to consider that. But then when you're looking at like getting our second round draft pick back because we don't have one this year, then you have a Nick Chubb or something like that if we don't get Le'Veon, you can try to draft somebody like that in the second round because he went second round this year. And Cleveland, and look what he's doing there.
There's going to be backs there, man.
So there's backs there and stuff. I just, first 3 picks should be offense, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Just bar none. It should be whatever. Best player available on the offensive side of the ball should be first 3 picks that we do this year.
And since free agency comes before the draft, then, let's just say we get that one edge rusher. Then I'm going to double down on what Brian is saying. First 3 picks should absolutely, definitely be offensive players. Just give me 1 O-lineman and 2 skills. Honestly, if you give me 2 O-linemen that high in the draft and 1 skill, I'm happy with that too. But regardless, it needs to be offense.
Absolutely.
We have to, and you know what? The coaching staff needs to hire an offensive-minded coach, and not just an offensive-minded coach, but a highly touted offensive-minded coach. And I think through our text, we were talking about Kingsbury or Kingsbury or
Kingsbury or something?
Kingsbury, yeah. He used to be a pretty good college quarterback.
Organization?
Texas Tech.
Yep, Texas Tech. Or
As
that
a head coach?
But we were talking about him
OC?
just a OC.
Yeah, as an OC.
Yeah.
And then also, who's still kicking and who's still doing well and who's been transcended throughout his long career? Oh my goodness. And it just escaped me. I don't like him
Denver?
I don't like him as a head coach, but I love him as an offense coordinator. North Turner. North Turner's doing a very, very good job this year.
Where?
I think he is on, you know what? Let me just Google him up right now.
San Francisco?
No, he's not in San Francisco. I want to say the Vikings.
Didn't the Vikings let him go now?
Stand by.
No, he's not. DiFilippo is on the Vikings.
Yes,
right
he
now.
is. He is. Who I would take as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would take him as
He's
well.
going to be a hot commodity. Everybody's going to want him.
Yeah.
But not everybody has a dynamic rookie quarterback like we do.
We're going to get to that too because we haven't really spoken about that.
Right, and that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about.
Like
He's not playing today. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about was how we have such options because we're not looking to draft a quarterback this year.
I love it.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. And but on the other side, we gave up our second to get him. That's why we're trying to get a second back. You know what I mean?
Sure,
So now next year when we're drafting, we don't have to draft the quarterback. We can look at other options.
Right.
That's what has hamstrung us, handcuffed us, since whoever was our last franchise quarterback.
We had one?
Right.
Chad Pennington?
Kenny O'Brien.
Chad.
Right.
I love Chad.
Chaz.
Chad.
By the way, North Turner is the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers.
I should have known that. Yeah.
He's doing that for Cam.
Yeah.
Cam is having a pretty good season, even though they lost 2 in a row. I think they'll win today, but still.
But look what he has as an offensive weapon too, besides Cam.
McCaffrey.
Yeah,
we just talking about.
But he's got like no receivers.
I think the top offensive weapons in the league are the top 10. Out of the top 10, 5 of them are running backs.
Yeah,
of course. Dynamic 2-way running backs. They've made a
two-way
comeback.
running backs.
They made a comeback.
Yeah.
Before it was wide receivers.
And this between the tackles guys is going by the wayside.
Yeah,
it's going by the wayside.
You got to be able to run and you got to be able to catch. Absolutely.
You got to be able to take it to the house. I think that's ultimately what we've been missing is that home run threat for as many years as I can remember. We just don't have it. Yeah. I mean, even with Curtis, it's not when you're looking at like Tyreek Hills, somebody like that can catch the ball at any point, at any part of the field, and take it to the house. Those are the type of individuals that we need, and it could be somebody that's small. I was looking at Antonio Brown's cousin, I believe, or nephew or something like that that's out there.
Oh, he's
Who's he play for?
He's in college though.
Yeah, he's in college right now, but he's coming out this year.
Was he playing for Michigan?
No. I forgot, but I'll look it up. But he's lighting it
USC,
up right now.
Maybe USC.
Okay,
It might be USC.
Check it out, B.
Oh, Oklahoma is it? Nah.
It's
Okay,
one-
I'm gonna look it up.
It's one of the big schools.
Yeah, it's one of the big schools.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's lighting it up. He's only like 170 pounds soaking
Right.
wet.
If you can
but-
create separation, you can be 5'1". I mean, if you
Exactly.
can create separation, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't
that's-
matter because you're not jumping over somebody. You know,
Right.
it's crossing routes,
Right.
and this is why I always complain about the offense, the Jets' offense. It's like all this stuff is going on. None of these guys are in motion when they're catching the ball. They're stopped. They're
Yeah.
waiting for the ball to get there. I mean, that makes it so easy for the defense. Anybody knows it's harder to recover It's harder to cover somebody who's in motion than it is who's standing still. It just makes no sense.
And we just don't have the receivers that really create separation.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
the point.
Marquise Brown. He's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, Marquise.
Marquise.
Yeah. So all right. So listen, we're talking about the Jets. As far as like free agency and players and acquiring players in the draft and all this, but today is game day. So let's talk
Almost
about.
forgot.
Yeah. Right. It's kind of easy to forget because we ain't doing so well.
Right.
How about we talk about the Jets? The Jets today we're playing at
Tennessee.
4:05 Eastern time. We're playing Tennessee in Tennessee. Actually that's where we got our my favorite linebacker of this season, Avery Williamson.
Oh, yeah.
So we got him from Tennessee. So that was a good move, McCagnon. The first one of your entire life.
Funny. He's got a couple more.
No, he does. He
Free
does. He
agents.
does.
I mean,
You know.
not free agents. Excuse me. Probably got that through trade, right?
No, that's free
No,
agent.
that's
free agent
That's
signing.
free agent
That's right.
acquisition.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about I don't know,
Keys to winning today?
keys to winning. We can talk about that. I mean, honestly, do I think
Chance
we're
of
going to
winning?
lose?
Chance of winning?
Chance of winning, I'm going to put that down. It's 15%. We have a
Yeah.
15, not 50, folks. 15, 1-5 chance of winning today.
And that's not. I mean, and they're not world beaters, so it's
No.
kind of tough that and they're up and down. And one week they look phenomenal and they beat the Patriots. The next week they look terrible.
They have inconsistent quarterback play and everything. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about the Tennessee Titans.
I'm surprised about Mariota being so
Oh, I like
inconsistent.
I like
but-
Mariota.
Yeah. I think we all liked him coming out of the draft or whatever. It just didn't end up
Yeah.
working out so far. As far as him being consistent, he also stays hurt too.
He
So
does.
that's
That
part of it.
elbow game is killing him.
Yep. Tommy John surgery or something.
Tommy John. He needs Tommy John.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Again, what I want to see
Hey,
out
Tommy
of this
John.
game is something different than what they've been doing on the offensive side of the ball. And again, I'm talking about play calling. That's what I'm scouting this game to look for play calling.
Yeah.
To see what our offensive coordinator is going to do. I have no confidence in our head coach, right? So he's going to do the same things,
unfortunate.
and that's what I expect. But I want to see something more where the offensive coordinator is opening up the playbook so that I can see what, I want to see more of Quincy Nunn. I want to see more of Herndon. I want to see more.
Why you say it like you're Cuban? I want to see more Quincy and Newton.
He's doing a little salsa while he's
He
doing
did a
it,
little,
right?
yeah, a little
Right.
salsa,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
Victor Cruz dance I was getting on Victor
And
about.
you were doing terrible. Like that was
Oh, yeah,
Mr.
you didn't like that
Roboto. Mr.
Wait,
No,
but
no.
the head was terrible.
Right.
No,
You know,
let me
I can't even
explain
do it.
to
My,
you.
my neck would hurt. Hey, I got C4, C5. I got issues with my C4, C5. Like my neck would hurt if I do all that nonsense.
No, it came from this, and then we can move on. I was like, Victor, listen, we're talking about Victor Cruz, former Giants receiver, Pro Bowler, great guy. I was talking to him. I was like, listen, I love your dance. It's original and everything, but a lot of people think it's like so complicated. And I'm just like, yo, all you have to do is just go bang, go bang, bang, go bang, go, and like just
boy.
do that. You remember that song back in the day? Bang.
Sure.
I used to get the club popping.
You keep dating
yeah.
yourself, man.
I'm
Cut
not
it
digging
out.
myself. I'm not digging.
No, dating. I said
dating, my
dating
bad,
yourself. Oh my gosh.
All right, fine. I'm dating myself. But I was like, the thing that would make it kind of like really like pop is, dun, 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 and then you do the leg kick and then the thing.
Leg kick was
Right.
terrible, and the neck,
Was worse.
the neck
Right.
was even worse, man.
Worse.
It was bad. It was,
Oh,
Wait, do the
my
neck, David
gosh.
Bryan. Did the neck.
it's like, what's going on?
But I'm
man?
just like, it's not that hard. Check
sure,
me out.
Sure.
All right, whatever.
Anyway.
Keep going.
Well, I would say for today, the first thing I want to see, because McCown is starting, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You definitely starting? All right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, and I
Definitely
hate to do this, the first thing I want to see is a loss, right? I want to
Wait,
see us lose the game.
hold.
I'm going to say it.
Hold on.
I'm going to say it.
Hold up. You want to see the loss?
I want to see a loss.
Pourquoi? And that's
Pourquoi?
Japanese. That's Japanese.
Pourquoi
Second
a
point.
higher drafté et piqué? All
See,
right.
I can't.
And then listen
I cannot
to
root
what I'm
for my
saying.
team to
This
lose.
Me too,
This is
Karen.
why. No. I mean, this is why. If Darnold was out there starting I would have a different philosophy on it. But McCown is not our future quarterback at all. I would like to see our team fight hard, do what they need to do, lose by 3 points. I mean, that would be like, all right, cool, man. It's a good, it's a good game, blah, blah, blah. We fought hard and all that kind of stuff. We caught the L. Darnold goes back out there, and then I would say I want the W and win by 3 points or even blow somebody out.
What kind of scenarios you making up over
I'm
there,
just telling you what it is, man, how I feel right now. I mean, we need a high draft pick, and what frustrates me sometimes and has in the past couple of years is for us to get close to something. Next thing you know, we're drafting six again. I don't want to draft 6 again. I don't.
The state, New England never drafts high, and they always come out with
How do you start with New England?
With a good product. You know why? Because they're the best team of our lifetime, the best franchise of our lifetime in the NFL. So I'm using that as a standard example.
Okay.
And I hate them.
Coach, quarterback,
GM. Yeah, and owner.
Coach.
Coach.
Coach
GM.
is the GM.
That's what I'm saying.
In this particular instance.
Yes. Okay. But and the owner as well, and the quarterback.
He doesn't particularly draft well, to be honest with you, but
Doesn't.
No.
Not at all.
Listen, he play the law of averages. His drafting
he coaches better than he drafts.
I would.
It's hands down. Hands down, coaches better than he drafts.
That's not even a question.
No.
They've put out some good stuff too. I'm not saying that every player works out for them, but they do have a pretty good history of drafting pretty well as well, like Hightower and especially in like the lower to mid rounds.
You putting Hightower is like a top draft pick?
No, person? I'm just saying. He's a good linebacker. Is he not?
He's pretty good.
He's a pro. Put it to you this way, just for evaluation purposes, to help illustrate my point. He's a Pro Bowl linebacker. He hasn't been the last couple years, but he's made it to the Pro Bowl a few times.
He made a Pro Bowl, I think.
I think he's made more than one.
Okay.
But we're guessing.
Yes.
So if somebody wants to fact check it, that's fine.
Yeah.
They got Tom Brady under his watch. They've gotten their offensive line, which was really good up until basically last year. They had a really good offensive line.
He was the GM at that point in time, to be honest with you.
Well,
when Brady was drafted. I have to look that up.
Probably not because he was fresh.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I'm using the Patriots because I think that they've acquired more good players than they have bad players. You can only coach bad players so much, even if you're a good coach. That's my philosophy. And New England has a history of trading back. So I'm just they set that standard. Let's see what we can do with that as well.
But you brought them up in order to shoot down my philosophy to lose the game today? Is that where that came from?
Well, no. That's two separate things. So I put the period on that.
Sure.
And then to start a new sentence, I fundamentally disagree with losing on purpose for any reason.
Yeah, I don't want them to lose on purpose. I just want them to lose.
You're purposefully saying it.
I'm purposefully saying it. But that doesn't mean I want my team to go out there and lay an egg on purpose.
But it
those
does
two different things.
It does mean that you're a borderline jerk.
Sure.
Call
me what you want to call me.
You said
today.
I don't think
today you can throw me straight into the jerk chicken pot. You know what I'm saying? That's all good, baby.
There's a clear line of demarcation of jerk and not jerk. We are on the jerk side.
Sure.
Right? You know why? Because he's my man. So I'm like,
oh yeah, you could. Hey,
but hey,
I will never root for my team to lose
ever,
especially from an NFL standpoint, because it takes another week for me to have to start thinking about winning again, and my week is off. Like when we lose, when the Jets lose, I'm miserable from the time that they lose until the time that they play again. So I'm miserable for a whole week.
You know why you're miserable for a whole week? Because you are a sensitive fan. You're a Jets fan.
Right. I fly
you're
a flag
Mets
in front
fan,
of my house.
And you're a Knicks
fan.
Wow.
Right.
Trifecta.
Right. But my point is that at least with the Mets and the Knicks, all I got to do is wait a day or two. You know what I'm saying? To think about it.
To another loss.
Right.
Because they've been stinking for the past.
But the Knicks look good.
Yeah,
the Mets and the Mets are doing things. So again, so what I'm saying is
we're making
it's
moves during
off-season.
the off-season.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Whatever. So
I mean, I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm being
right.
Again,
am I gonna look? I'm gonna look at silver lining. I'm gonna be like, oh, if we lose, then then we could potentially have a higher draft pick. Right. But I don't want them to lose. I want them to win. But
Me
again,
too.
the silver lining aspect is,
Listen,
you're right.
I'd rather Darnold be out there right now
No
and
doubt.
and
No
and,
doubt.
and
Yes.
have the opportunity
Right.
to look at him progressing during the
Right.
last couple of games and potentially winning some of these games.
Right.
My view on it would be totally different, and if we could eke out the best record we could from now to the end of the season, great.
Right.
He ain't out there. It's McCown.
Right.
Love you, McCown, but
Right.
you know,
But if Herndon is doing
throw
his
something
thing,
into the draft bucket.
and Anunwa doing his thing, and McGuire is making it happen, and I can still look at Jamal Adams and see that he's doing it, and I can look at Tremaine Johnson and say, wow, he had a good game today.
I'm over
that
that.
dude locked down. Again, we can't be over him. We
Haven't
still
seen
got
that
it. We
since
still have him.
Detroit.
We're gonna have him for a long time.
I mean, I'm over
And
him
again, it's a
mentally.
long term. It's a long term process with him. We signed him to a long term deal. Again, this is the first half of the season.
Yeah.
I get it. So hopefully the second half of the season he'll do well enough so that we feel better about the decision to sign him. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm again, silver lining. The silver lining, man.
we will see.
Whatever.
The Silver Linings Playbook. Wasn't that a movie back in the day? Like the
Not
Silver
back in the day. We're
Sure.
Not that far
Like 2
long
years ago?
Funny.
All right, it's not that
Funny.
long.
Sorry, it was just
And
whatever.
that was with Philly.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
All right. So let's get back on task. So I predicted a 15% chance that the Jets were gonna win this game, and it's just because we just don't have the tools.
No.
We don't have enough tools in the toolbox to execute the game plan. Also, the people that are that are trying to execute the game plan just aren't very good. The offense we're probably gonna run is a spread offense with no motion. So we don't know if the defense is in the zone or in man or whatever. It's just going to be like in a spread or in like twins left, twins right, and then one back in the backfield, and then that's it.
Right.
So it's just not creative. It's not expansive enough for me. I'm over this offensive coordinator as well. I was very high on him in the beginning of the year, but he's just showing me that he's not that good. Maybe he needs to go on another hike, or something like that. He's a big hiker or whatever, apparently. But I don't want to come down on him. But I'm just frustrated with the team and everything. And now I just want to see good performances so that we can develop a plan of attack for our offseason, it being free agency and it being the draft, so that we can say and feel really good about, like, okay, Anunwa is definitely a high-end number 2. Okay, Darnold, he's definitely a quarterback for the future, and we put faith and trust in him because he's got the skill set and those intangibles to really push a team forward. Okay, we don't need to maybe get like 4 offensive linemen. I think what will help us was getting 2. No, because I'm so down on them, I want to replace the whole bunch.
Yeah.
But like maybe we just need 2 because we've evaluated the last 4 to 5 games of the season. Isaiah Kroll, if we don't get Le'Veon Bell, he could still potentially, with a decent line, have another 200-yard game in him. And then after that, maybe averaging like 85 to 90 yards a game and become like a back that runs for like 1,100 or something like that with like, I don't know, 8 touchdowns. I don't know. Hold on. Look at the way this dude's looking at me right now.
I think the one thing I take exception to that you said to start the conversation is that we don't have the talent to compete with this team. I think we do. I think talent-wise, we probably line up very well with this team. It's not like the Patriots or somebody else where I feel like, player for player, they have better players than we do, or Kansas City or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. But
I
I have
agree.
no confidence on the dudes on the sidelines right now to say that they're going to be – I think that they will be thoroughly outcoached in this game. That's my problem.
That's a fair point, and that's totally a fair point. I guess I'm just so down on the team. Either way, I think we're going to lose. Put it to you that way.
Sure.
It could be a lack of talent or just a lack of coaching,
Sure.
Sure. And either way, I don't think we're going to win. So that's
I'm probably on
that's
the
my overall
same
point.
page with you. It's like a 15% chance that we would have some success against this team.
Mm-hmm. What's your percentage be if you had to pick a percentage?
Hopefully 0.
Jerk status.
That's the jerk you
That's
mean. That's
jerk
right.
status. She was
That's the next T-shirt I'm gonna wear next week.
jerk status. Yeah,
Jerk status.
Jerk
huh?
status.
Okay, all right. We work on that.
Make
Yeah,
sure
you
it's
should
green
get
and
that.
white. Make sure it's green and white.
That you should work on that.
Oh, absolutely.
You
All
should work on
right, let me put that in there.
Jerk status.
And we're only going to sell it on BKBK podcast.
That's right.
Right.
Jerk status. That's funny.
That's right.
So, Brian and Carrie, I know that we wanted to talk a little bit about the Knicks. and how they're playing and this and that. So I haven't been able to watch that much of it. So I'm gonna sit back like someone in the audience and talk me through this whole thing, man. Like talk to me about the Knicks.
I mean, look, Fizdale came in with a reputation for being able to develop players, and his reputation precedes him. He has done a tremendous job so far of developing this team. I think we already have like 7 or 8 wins so far.
8 wins, yeah.
Nice.
8 wins so far. We had an overtime win against the team with the second highest record in the NBA.
Was that Milwaukee?
In Milwaukee.
Wow.
Yep.
So we beat the Greek Freak, huh?
We beat the Greek Freak.
Nice.
It was an overtime win, and it showed that we do have the ability. The Knicks do have the ability to close without having significant veteran presence. And these young guys are playing. They're playing hard. They're playing with aggression. They're playing with purpose. And it's all because of coaching. It's all because of Fizdale. And I'm hoping that this creates a trend where they're, where we can see what happens towards the end of the year in Porzingis coming back and playing well, and us being able to attract the Knicks being able to attract a high-level free agency, maybe 2 high-level free agents.
Yeah.
To come into the team.
Are you on that Durant train?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I mean, I hope he wants to be here. I hope he wants to be here. Maybe we're not able to sign him for that amount, but again, I hope he wants to be here. And again, that's just showing that the opinion of the franchise turning.
Yeah. If we acquire him, I just think his mental game is just a little bit of a mess. He needs to just relax, and just play the game. I feel like he's always letting people in his head. I mean, he's got a false burner account putting out tweets. Like, who cares about that? Just go out and do your thing. I don't know. Whatever. But I'll still take him in. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him, though.
Not at all.
I'm just like, get your mind right, man.
Not everybody can be like LeBron in terms of that, in terms of not letting anything in and affect him. To me, it makes it. He's human. I mean, I understand. I don't like the burner account. I don't like it. But again, this guy, he is the truth.
He's a beast.
He's the truth.
He's
a beast.
I can't even talk about him. I've been burnt before. I can't talk about that dude Durant, and I love him. Yeah. And we would love for you to come. Yeah. But I can't really talk about that guy until he actually walks into the press conference and says, "Hey, I'm a Nick," and he's the hat and all that.
We can only wish. We can only hope.
But
just like Le'Veon.
I would say this. I mean, Fizdale, great call out there. Yeah. You have Emmanuel Mudiay, who trash heap. Was
throwing this guy away.
Throwing him away.
Right.
I mean, he had
dunking on cats.
Yeah, I saw that dunk the other game, whatever.
He making threes in transition.
I didn't think he was going to do that. Right.
Not once, but twice.
I was like, who is this guy?
Right.
I don't even know who. If you took his jersey off or whatever else, and you just look like, who is this kid, man? It looked like when he was coming in the league, just going out there and doing his thing. Right. Damian Dotson couldn't get anything out of this kid. Any prior coach can get anything out of this kid. This guy is dropping 20 points on people.
He's about to be draft capital. You want to be honest with it, but keep going.
What? I'm not trading. And this is
I'm just telling you. I mean, trade capital, not draft capital.
No. And I'm going to talk about this in a second. Right. And I'm going to talk about this in a second, right?
Right.
So you have those two amongst the Trey Burks and all these other players. Vonleh. I didn't even know who Vonleh was until we drafted the guy. Until we got the guy in free agency.
I thought he was Vlade Divac's son.
He's another first round pick.
Yeah. So when you bring in these guys, trash heap, people threw them out in the garbage.
And the dude from Orlando.
Man, well, he's not
again another first round pick.
Yeah. But he scored 2 points. That was a phenomenal 2 points yesterday.
Yeah,
because he dunked on the Greek Freak.
Right, but that's just yesterday. I'm saying some of the other games he has definitely shown his ability.
Nah, I could throw him out with the trash too. But anyway, but what I'm saying is the thing that frustrated me. Why are they talking about trading the players at this point? I don't get it. Like, where are they going as far as trying to trade? Now they're talking about Tim Hardaway Jr. or Ntilikina maybe.
4.
No, they're not even saying 4.
Bradley Beal.
Well, they got. I have something.
I'll take Bradley Beal.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll take Beal.
Dame. Hello.
Who?
Lillard.
Oh, well, but of course.
All right. So what are you talking about?
Wait, but that's not happening. I didn't see that in here. Let me check this out. Maybe I didn't read it fully through.
right.
Damian Lillard.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Do your due diligence, Brian.
Right now, buddy. No, but they would no. The draft
You're talking about
scenarios.
specific stories. You're talking
The
about
draft
specific
scenarios
stories.
that I saw were not for those players.
Not draft scenarios. I'm talking about trade
No,
scenarios.
I'm sorry, trade scenarios.
Okay,
the trade
okay.
scenarios that I saw were not for those players.
Like-
So like John Wall and some
don't
random
want
folks
Wall.
that
I
are
don't
out
want
there.
Wall either. He's a head case.
But
play like a-
certainly Beal. Beal's been in that talk.
Beal's
yeah.
would be a nice get. Beal would be a nice get, and if it didn't touch on Damian Dotson, with Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, so you trade
I'm
away
not
your
sold
best
on Tim.
players.
I'm not really sold on Tim anyway. I like him, but I'm not sold on him. Attracting for free agents to be like, oh, I'm coming to play with Tim.
No, not necessarily, but I mean, if you're trading what are they going to want? They're going to want a draft pick, right? It's not just going to be.
We're not giving draft picks.
Well,
up.
I mean, for a Beal, if I'm Washington, I want a draft pick in addition to whatever you're going to give me.
Well, that's not. That's
'Cause
why it hasn't happened.
You have no All-Stars on your team right now except for the one that's sitting on the bench. So what are you going to trade for me in addition to what you have? You're throwing me.
It's money. It's money.
What do you mean?
So with Neil and Keeler, you don't have to pay him, right? So with Dotson, you don't have to pay him. With Beal, he's got to be paid. So that's what it ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it ends up being. But it's not. We're not going to give up first round picks.
Well, I'm just telling you. If you're talking about
We're
Beal,
not.
you're talking
We're not.
about
If we're talking about Beal, and
Lillard.
we're
You're talking about
Beal,
Lillard, and you're not going to give
we're-
him a first round
no.
pick for this dude.
Again, you're not winning with them anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. That's what I'm saying because I think we're probably saying the same thing, but I don't think they'll trade ends up happening because of the fact that the Knicks don't want to give up a first round pick.
And they're not.
Right? So I think we're on the same page with that. That's what I think is going to end up happening. We're not going to make these trades because they're going to want a first round draft pick, and we don't have players of Lillard's caliber or even close to Lillard or Beal. So that's has to be part of the package, and if it's not going to happen.
Well, what it is that with the Neal and Keeler deal or with Dotson, it's giving up to get first round talent, to get a first round pick. So say for instance Phoenix, because that's what's been out there.
Sure.
Trading Neal and Keeler or Dotson for a first round pick.
Oh, well, then I do that in a second.
Done.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
Yesterday.
All right. So that's what part of the talk was. There were some other teams that were interested. I think
'Cause
Orlando.
Phoenix is worse
I
than
think
us.
Orlando was interested in Neal and Keeler too.
Here's why I feel like it's ridiculous. Phoenix has a worse record than we do, right? So you're talking about giving Ntilikina and or Dotson. I'll give them both for your first round draft pick this coming year. Oh, please.
Again,
Please, you do that in a heartbeat.
It's all talk.
It's all speculation.
Right? It's all
know.
speculation.
So
It's all
I think
conjecture.
So the only thing I think that, and it would be tough too. Cantor is your only trade piece that you have
That's
right
what-
now.
that's- I
You
think
were
I-
talking
I think I
about
texted
Cantor
you.
trading.
I think I
you talked
texted
about
you
him
with
for
that.
a while.
Yeah.
Right, but I texted you about that.
Yeah.
But see, the issue with me is that I'm not trading Cantor.
You're giving up on the season if you do.
You're giving up on the season, and he's a veteran presence, and he might be valuable to you.
And he's 25.
Yeah.
He might be
And
valuable.
he gives you that
to
muscle, that
Is
kind of
that all he
toughness
is?
He's
too.
25. He's 25.
Right, but he's gonna be owed a significant contract at the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but I'm saying on a winning team, he is the third option, right? So, but my point is that if you're gonna pay him like that at the end of this year, going into the next year,
We're not.
and
That's why you trade him.
maybe again, if it depends upon what direction that you're going in.
Mhm.
If you have two free agents that you want to bring in, and he's going to be the third option, if that's what you're doing, then you're keeping him for that reason. If not, then you trade him before the trade deadline for a high draft pick to a team that needs that.
But he's not even going to be. Think of it this way. So you have, if you bring in two guys, two all-star caliber people.
Mhm.
So those are going to be your one.
And two.
But you're
One
forgetting
and
about Chris.
Porzingis.
Yeah, forgetting about Porzingis.
Porzingis, yeah.
So your Porzingis is probably going to be your two. Then you're going to have whatever the other player is
Right.
as your three.
Right.
You have Tim Hardaway Jr. still on your team at that point in time, so
Right.
he's probably your four. So
Yeah.
now Cantor's
Yeah.
a fifth guy.
Right. So that's why I say hold him.
But
That's why I
like,
say hold him.
what
Hold
I
on
want
to
to
him.
say about Cantor is like he kind of gives us that tougher kind of feel to him. Because,
No doubt.
You know, and
This dude had 25 rebounds and 25 points.
and that's what I
ridiculous.
love about his game, you know, and it kind of gives me like a throwback kind of a feel to how tough our Knicks used to play.
Right.
You know, I love
So
that.
what he does is he gives you the option. Is like when you're not scoring the ball, we know we can just give it to him, and he can get us going.
He
Yeah.
just
He
doesn't
can
play
just get us going.
defense. That's what the tough part about it is.
Who
It's like-
does? Who does?
I
Play
mean,
defense in this league at this point.
when it matters is the last 7 minutes of the game.
He played defense at the end of this game, at the end of the overtime game.
Okay. Well,
Right.
it-
Once they wanted to
Got his
punch
hands
him.
up.
Right. That's defense.
Yeah.
That's defense. He didn't get called for the foul.
yeah.
And the Greek Freak was like, "I'm gonna punch him next time." Like what? Like really, dude? Come on now.
He ain't
Because he played
punching
defense
nobody,
on you.
bro.
I'm just saying.
Funny.
It's mad. It's
Funny.
just
They love,
mad.
they
You
love
just
talking about
mad.
fights too. At least they
just
fight
mad.
in the NFL. Pause. I'm just kidding. All right, listen, man. You know what I'm saying. So I think this was a great show today. I just wanted to see the two Taylor brothers fight it out a little bit over here arguing next
About
to
the
me.
Knicks.
Yeah, about to mix it up. But everybody, hey, listen, man. Thanks for watching another episode of the BKBK podcast. We want to be able to bring you the latest news and viewpoints of where sports and the culture collide, and the New York Jets reign supreme. So keep watching. You can find us on Facebook on our BKBK podcast fan page. You can find us on Twitter at BKBK podcast, Instagram at BKBK podcast, as well as on YouTube. Just type in BKBK podcast, hit the like button and the subscribe button to show the love. Also, if you can't watch us, you can just listen to us and go on to iTunes.
listen up.
That's right. Listen up and go to bkbkpodcast.podomatic.com. That's it. Let's go Jets. Let's go Baldwin Bruins. And let's go Team BKBK.
That's right.
That's
All
right.
right.